Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into a really fascinating shift that's happening inside some of the smartest companies in the world. They're ditching off-the-shelf software and are actually building their own. Let's break down why this is becoming a serious secret weapon in modern business.
So let's just jump right in with the one number that really tells you everything you need to know. A recent Tech Republic survey found that a staggering 75% of IT leaders are convinced that custom-built software just flat-out delivers better business results. And look, we're not talking about a small preference here. This is a massive strategic tipping point.
And this quote, it just nails the why behind that 75%. I mean, think about it. For decades, the way it worked was you bought a piece of software, and then you had to bend and twist your company's unique processes to fit inside that generic box. Well, that whole idea has been completely flipped on its head. The top companies are now building tech that's tailored to them, not the other way around.
And you know, this isn't just a bunch of talk. It's being backed by a literal tidal wave of investment. The market for custom software is on track to more than triple by 2030, soaring past $146 billion. What that really means is there's a very good chance your competitors are already pouring money into building their own tech advantage right now.
So, what is really driving this huge consensus? Well, it all comes down to a classic business idea. Building what's called a competitive moat. You know, a unique advantage that your rivals can't just go out and buy for themselves.
See, when everyone in your industry is using the exact same tools, you end up in this sea of sameness. Everybody's basically running from the same playbook. Custom software is the escape route from that. It's how you build a real, defensible advantage. And that advantage is built on three main pillars.
Okay, pillar number one is unmatched agility. A wild 70% of companies say they can react faster to market changes. Pillar two is radical efficiency, right? We're talking a 20 to 30% jump in productivity just by automating your unique workflows. And the third one is deep customer personalization, which the fastest growing companies are using to rake in 40% more revenue. You add all that up, these aren't just small tweaks, they're absolute game changers.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds amazing, but isn't this stuff crazy expensive? Let's talk about that price tag.
All right, let's just tackle this question head on. That initial sticker price you see on off-the-shelf software, it's incredibly misleading. Yeah, it might look cheaper on day one, but that's really just the price of admission. The real costs start to creep in, often in ways you totally don't expect.
And you can really see this when you put them side by side. Look at the things that actually matter. How well it fits your needs, if it can grow with you, the integration headaches, and the real long-term cost. With what's called COTS, or commercial off-the-shelf software, you're stuck with generic features, and you often get hit with penalties when you grow. But with custom software, it's engineered from the ground up to do exactly what you need it to do. And those hidden costs, they're no joke. You've got these perpetual licensing fees, which honestly feels like you're just buying the same software over and over again. Then you're paying for super costly integrations to make it talk to your other systems. You're creating all this process debt with clunky workarounds, and some vendors will even penalize you with higher fees as you become more successful.
And it's exactly because of all those hidden costs that the smart money is starting to reframe this whole conversation. Custom software stops being just another line item cost and starts looking like a strategic investment with a very real, measurable return.
You know, from a chief financial officer's perspective, building your own tech is actually a massive de-risking strategy. Think about it. All of a sudden, you're not at the mercy of some vendor that could jack up their prices, get bought by a competitor, or just go out of business entirely. You own the keys to your kingdom, and that gives you incredible stability for the long haul.
So how do you actually make the financial case for this? Well, the sharpest CFOs have a playbook. This isn't about a gut feeling. It's a real process. You start by defining exactly what you want to achieve. Then you calculate the total cost of ownership over several years, not just the upfront price. You even find ways to put a dollar value on things like happier customers or more productive employees before you run the final models.
And here's the kicker. When you actually do that math, the result is pretty shocking. An incredible 70% of organizations discover that their custom software actually has a lower total cost of ownership over a 5-year window. That is a massively powerful argument to make.
Okay, so you've heard the case. It's compelling. But how does a leader actually figure out if this is the right move for their own company? I mean, where do you even start?
Well, the best way to start isn't actually with technology at all, it's with strategy. First, you have to define your why. What is the single most important business goal you're trying to hit? Once you have that, you can map out the unique processes that get you there, build an initial business case, and then take a really honest look at what your team can handle right now.
So what this all tells us is that the entire conversation around business software has fundamentally changed. For the companies leading the pack, the question isn't if they should invest in their own proprietary technology anymore. The question is how and when. It's about taking control to build a durable advantage. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. In this new world, are you going to be an architect of your own future or just a consumer of someone else's tools?